Graduates and those who think they're graduating, please be seated. Anyone who has not completed all 120 tested hours, feel free to contact Coach.
Hi everyone, and thanks for coming. I'm Ricky Ellman, and I'll be joining the rest of you guys with Coach later.
And I'm Abigail Hoxter. This counts as tested hours, right?
From Coach's look, I doubt it. Anyway, although you may be thinking you're a part of the administration because of all the time you spent in the office over the past 4 years,
we are actually not staff members, but part of the graduating class of 2019.
Don't be mistaken. MC does not stand for multiple choice. We are done with testing.
At least till tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we have that English region.
Unfortunately, it does not stand for Member of Congress either.
And until we do become members of Congress,
it really stands for Master of Ceremonies.
For now.
Before we get to the good stuff, please be sure to silence any devices you may have.
I silence my phone in solidarity, but as a good MSH student, my phone is in my locker, as per page 4, section 7, line 47 of the official handbook.
On a more serious note, sitting behind us are the real people responsible for our education.
To our left, we have Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Friedman, Master Rally Organizer and lover of the Mission Torah. From him, we learn the proofs for the foundations of Judaism.
Next, Menahelet Mrs. Eisenman, lawyer who taught us how to stand up for things that we believe in.
Assistant Principal, Mrs. Lesker. Professional test calendar organizer, ensured that we wouldn't be too overwhelmed by one test per day.
Office Manager, Elisa Gordon. Our motherly figure let us take refuge during difficult classes and taught us how to keep our teenage emotions in check, always showed us the big picture.
On behalf of our grade, we would like to thank you for a truly life-changing 4 years, which shaped us into the people we are today.
The administration cultivated a love and admiration of Israel within all of us,
as well as a sense of gratitude towards America, for without its freedoms, we could not have been here today and had the opportunity to attend such a school.
With that, please stand as we say the national anthem in Hatikva, led by Dr. Arthur Cragsman, Hadal Tzvah.
and bright stars through the perilous tide. O'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, yellow bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you for leading us so beautifully, Dr. Kreitzman. Now, we would like to digress a bit to the topic of what made our years at Shellhevet so different from any other school.
For one, most schools have a large set of staff members specific to each grade.
Here at Shellhevet, the 38 best teachers were chosen and used for every subject for every single grade.
This created an environment where we were able to form lasting close relationships with all of our teachers.
Other schools have what they call gym class, consisted of a teacher, students, and a large room, usually with basketball hoops called a gym.
But here at Shellhevet, we had PE, a ballroom, a third floor, a parking lot, and multi-purpose bowling pins used for things like bowling, softball, and any other sports.
This fostered creativity and made us cautious about not getting hit or hitting other teacher, faculty, or fellow members' cars.
In other schools, you have different groups such as jocks, nerds, popular kids, and geniuses.
But here in Shellhevet, we had just enough students for everyone to be 1/4 jock, 1/4 nerd, 1/4 genius, 1/8 popular, and 1/8 Martian.
Although some may find us quirky, this allowed us not to be confined to one social status or group. It taught us to appreciate the different parts of our personalities as well as others and let us all grow as individuals. Other schools have many classrooms and even multiple floors. I know, it's a lot. For their students and faculty.
Here at Shellhevet, we have 6 actual classrooms going up to room 11, skipping 1, 2, and 3, and 6, excluding a lab and including a baby garage and a library.
Although this system may seem unusual, we had a chance to ask Mr. Kelly and Mr. G, and mathematically, they claim it works.
All these seemingly little changes that differentiated Shellhevet from other schools is truly what made it the incredible place it was and continues to be. It is what brought us to appreciate others and love learning. We now know what truly matters in this world is that we continue thinking and using our minds to grow and develop.
Our next speaker is one who greatly influenced this mindset in our environment since day one, considering that he established the school.
Following in the footsteps of the Rambam, Rabbi Friedman, a brilliant and analytical thinker, was in the medical field and did us, and many others, the great favor of becoming a principal and educator.
His genuine love for teaching and learning is infectious, so much so that many of us are hopefully going to learn with him over this summer. He instilled in us that learning is not limited to school, but rather we should learn as much as we can, about as much as we can, at every stage of life. We would now like to introduce our Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Friedman.
Thank you, ladies, for that unnecessary introduction. Before I begin, I want to make a historical note that in a few days it'll be Chav Sivan, the 20th day of Sivan, which was commemorated in the Jewish communities throughout Europe as the day of Avelos for the Chmielnitsky massacres in 1648. So it should bring to mind, the destiny we had with the previous generations that suffered so much for their commitment to Torah and mitzvahs, and really underscore our appreciation that we have for living in a great situation, a great country here in the United States that allows us all kinds of religious freedoms, and allows us to practice Torah mitzvahs as we see fit. A couple years ago, actually last year, I was in New Hampshire, which is the live free or die state, and I went to the shul, and I bumped into someone, an acquaintance I know from Far Rockaway. See him every so often, maybe shopping on Central Avenue, whatever. And he asked me a question he said he was puzzled by for a long time. And he asked me, what do I think? So I gave him a little thought, and I suggested an answer. And he said, I really like that answer. You're a big Talmud Chacham. So I said, no, you got the wrong guy. That's not me. I hope you like the answer. But then I thought a little bit and said, you know what? A Talmud Chacham literally is the student of a Chacham. So I said, if that's the case, I'm a student of a big Chacham, because my Rabbi Chaim is here, and I want to pay tribute to him and Mrs. Chaim for their inspiration and the guidance and continued Habbatzas Torah over the years in terms of promoting so many guys that know the chinuch and have a big chilek of all the learning that's taking place tonight. So thank you, Rabbi and Mrs. Chaim. In this week's upcoming Parsha, the Rav has an amazing insight in terms of Moshe Rabbeinu's response to the complaints that the people had. And if you go through, from Shmos on, we see many complaints people had against Moshe Rabbeinu. Why'd you take us out of Egypt? Which is an amazing narrative. How could people say, imagine someone coming out of Auschwitz or Treblinka saying, why'd you take me out? So Mitzrayim wasn't that much different in terms of the oppression of the Jews. And yet they were complaining against Moshe. And the Kfuyei Tova, he felt, here it is, I'm helping the people, and they don't kind of appreciate what I'm doing. And many other complaints that they had, culminating in the Cheva Ego. Cheva Ego means they abandoned Hashem, right, and the leadership of Moshe Rabbeinu, and they embraced idolatry, which is one of the worst of errors. Yet in all those cases, we see that Moshe Rabbeinu prayed for the people. They asked Hashem, forgive the people, give them another chance, and tremendous compassion. And yet in this week's Parsha Ba'alosta, where they're complaining about food, Moshe Rabbeinu throws up his hands. He says, you know what? I didn't give birth to these people. Get me out of this. Why am I here? There's a sense of frustration. So the question is why, when Avodah Zarah, which is the worst of it, is okay, meaning he helped the people, and here, when it's a smaller Avera, he seems to be really, unaccepting of it and abandoning the people. So the Rav mentioned an amazing insight, which I think is summarized in one word, which I'll share in a second. He said, everyone is going to stumble. Everyone's going to make a mistake at some point in their lives. And Avodah Zarah is a bad Avera, but it's a particular Avera. But when they embrace a lifestyle of hedonism, which is unadulterated pleasure, which I think is summarized in the word chinam. They said, we remember the food we ate in Mitzrayim, chinam. Chinam means for free, but it doesn't mean monetarily for free. Rashi points out, chinam in ha-mitzvahs. No self-control, no obligations, obviously no brachos. We'll do what we want when we want. That's a hedonistic type of lifestyle. He said if that's the case, Moshe Rabbeinu felt, it's impossible, I won't be successful as a leader, and therefore he looked for an opportunity to step down. And I think the message to the graduates and to those of us that have graduated is pretty basic, pretty clear. And that is, of course, there's going to be challenges you're going to face in life. That's the nature of the world that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, to have challenges and to rise above the occasion. And there's two responses. You can stumble, which we invariably do from time to time, and brush yourself off and get up and say, okay, I'm going to fix things, I'm going to make things better. That's okay, a particular error. Or you can embrace that type of lifestyle and say, you know what, I'm going to continue this way. I won't admit my mistakes. I won't do tshuva. I won't correct myself. And I'm going to embrace this type of a lifestyle, which is exactly the reason that Moshe Rabbeinu said, at that stage he thought the people, could not be helped and redeemed. And my hope, my tefillah and bracha to the class of 2019, wonderful young ladies, I had the opportunity to learn with last year, is that given your solid foundation you got in the yeshiva and you got at home, that when those challenges do happen, and when you do happen to stumble, then you'll get up and brush yourself off and make your parents proud, make the yeshiva proud, and most importantly, be proud of yourselves. Hatzlacha, and keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Friedman. Now, for the senior kala, salutatorian, don't worry, Mrs. Hirsch, best barista ever, and study partner, Eliana Hirsch. Not
Not only is she clearly brilliant, but Eliana is extremely hardworking, talented, helpful, and kind to all those she meets. And believe us, she knows at least 2/3 of the people each of you do. So don't feel bad if she doesn't thank you personally in her speech. Thank you. Welcome everyone to Shahada. I mean MSH's graduation of the class of 2019. I would like to start off with the following question. Are you an egg, a potato, or a coffee bean? Wait, hold on a second. That's not the right speech. Okay. Let me start again. Welcome everyone to MSH's graduation of the class of 2019. I would like to thank everyone for coming from far and near to join in our celebration. Before I begin, I want to thank my parents for continuing to support me throughout the years. I also want to thank the teachers and the administration for enabling us to grow in a warm environment where we are taught to be intensive learners and thinkers. Now to kick off my speech, can I please have more volunteers come up to the podium?
Okay.
I'm sure if I asked each of you who the tallest person standing in line is, you would all say, Hadassah. What if I asked you the same question again, but this time I first asked the people sitting next to you, and they all responded Avital. I'm sure you would be very confused at first. What would happen if everyone else repeated Avital over and over again in response to my question? Will you give it to the majority, or would you stick to your initial thought? Thank you, volunteers. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of the ACT experiment. I heard about this study from my father, and again in AP psychology. It was the same experiment I just conducted, except it involved judging the length of lines instead of people's height. The participant in the experiment was asked, along with 8 other people, whether 2 lines were identical in length. Little did the participant know that the other members of the group were in cahoots with the research team. The other participants were told to give the wrong answer in order to see if the original participant conformed. The results of the experiment were mind-boggling. At least 3/4 of the participants conformed at least once and gave the wrong answer. It can be inferred from this experiment that a small group of people can have a large influence. This influence can either be for the good or for the bad, have positive or negative impacts on another individual. Strength can be found within a small group of people. It has been proven that even having one friend by your side can cause a significant decrease in levels of loneliness. This relates to a couple of points I learned with one of my teachers here at MSH. These sukkim are from the book of Kohelet, which I had the privilege of learning from Rabbi Shnei in 11th grade. Tovei hashnayim min ha'achad, asher mishpahan l'zachar tov ba'olam. Ki im yipol ha'achad, yakim es chaviro, v'ilu ha'achad sheyipol, v'ein sheni l'hakimo. This means 2 are better than 1, for they get a greater return for their toil. For should they fall, one can lift the other. The woe to him who is alone when he falls, and there is none to lift him. Before coming to MSH, I felt alone. I was a pretty quiet girl in school, and I only had a couple of friends I felt I could truly count on. Coming to Shahada, before I became MSH, I slowly got to know my classmates. Slowly but surely, I came to know each girl, see their strengths and all they offered, and eventually to open up to them, feel like I could trust them. I formed a bond with each and every one of them, whether it was in class, play, choir, total, mock trial, debate, the list goes on and on. I learned to express myself, and I was given the outlet to become someone I was proud to be. For the first time, I wasn't alone. Now that I've experienced this epiphany, don't worry, it wasn't that great and like the rest of the grade. I think I can finally understand the pluses from Kohelet. 2 are better than 1, for should they fall, 1 can lift the other. 2, or really 17 in this case, is certainly better than 1. Feeling like I am a part of something all these years has really instilled this idea in my mind. Going back to the ACT experiment. The participants in the experiment were a small group of people. It seemed like they could barely influence things. Yet, they were able to convince someone else to go against his or her better judgment. They were able to impact another person and completely change his or her view of the situation. The ability to influence should be developed carefully, since it has the potential to negatively affect others. On the other hand, good, it could have positive, life-changing effects. Now I have a message for my incredible breed. Imagine how this superpower could be used if harnessed for the good. Imagine the impact each and every one of us can make on a single person, a group of people, a community of people, a world of people. This is the start of our journey. This is the time we can utilize the power we hold and perfected these past 4 years at MSH. Make a change for the better. Influence the world like you influenced me. Like the anthropologist Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Eliana, and we had such faith in you that we even pre-wrote this compliment in our speech. Next, we would like to thank our Minnehalet, Mrs. Eisenman, who has been an incredible mentor to us since the beginning. She has been through so much with each one of us, as well as the grade as a whole. She was always there to support us, even while being bombarded with breakdowns about Israel and our futures.
She always calmed us down with a witty joke or a famous catchphrase. She taught us that no matter what your rank is, you can always be a star in the school play. I'm sure she will bring the same stage presence tonight. It is my great honor to welcome Mrs. Eisenman to the stand.
MSH girls, MSH. Okay, sorry about that. Rishut, the Rosh Yeshiva Rabbi Friedman, it is an honor to address all of you tonight. I must begin by thanking all of the parents for entrusting us with the education and care of your daughters and in partnering with us in raising these beautiful young Jewish women. You have given us your best and your brightest. We are confident that their time at MSH has prepared them to take their place in the greater community as they continue their education in Israel and college. Parents, you have contributed so much to our school community and hope that not only your daughters, but that you will stay connected to us as your daughters continue to mature. We are sure that they will bring us all much nachas. As you know, when it comes to raising children, it takes a village. To Eliza, Shani, Ilona, and Mrs. Lisker, thank you for all of you do, for your efforts for tonight and for everything leading up to it. On behalf of our students and our family, nothing would ever get done without each of you. And a special shout out to Shani for making this evening as beautiful as it is. Thank you to Stacy Zeitz, speaking of parents who come and don't go. We've been grateful to have her for many years. On behalf of the Women's League, for purchasing the beautiful Sifrei Tanakh for the students to take with them. Girls that are going to Israel, don't forget to pack them. Thank you to everyone that helped out for this evening. Our exceptionally dedicated teachers have put endless care and attention into the education of our graduates. To them, education does not begin and end in the classroom, nor is it merely about teaching a particular subject. It is about teaching and reaching the whole child. The reputation for individual attention that MSH is built on is created by each email that you guys send, each pat on the back, as well as your attention to the subject you teach and the rigors of your course. Will the faculty please rise so that everyone can show their appreciation? Graduates, a special note. Mrs. H. Fader had a simcha in her family and couldn't be here this evening, and she was very sad about that. She did send you a message, so I know do you still log into your Google Classroom? No. But you did, of course you did. Oh, you're so good. Yeah, well, she sent you a letter on your Google Classroom, so you should check it out because she's sad to be missing it. Now let's turn our attention from the supporting cast to help make tonight possible to the lead players in tonight's celebration. Oftentimes, a grade, as a group, takes on a specific personality or character. The class of 2019 typifies this. In fact, I was thinking about it when you said you're like 1/4 this and 1/4 that, and it's true. You each comprise so many different qualities, and you have so many similarities among all of you. You really are a very close and unified grade. I hate to bring it up, but you guys shared a rough year in 10th grade. I think it's important to mention because you use that challenge to make you stronger as a group and as individuals. You have consistently been supportive and genuinely caring of one another. You are deep thinkers who love to learn. I cannot think of one exception in our group to that statement. You seek the truth. You ask questions, you probe deeply. You seek knowledge so that you will possess it, but also so that you can apply it in your lives. As a group, you are probably the most talented group to graduate ever from any school. You know it's true. You are talented artists, singers, dancers, writers, poets, photographers, musicians, programmers, actors, and the list goes on, and a few faculty members wanting me to mention math geeks too. When you recently, you know which ones, you know which ones. When you recently spent time reflecting on your accomplishments during your high school years, you focused on all of the important things. You Shavuot in that capacity. The Torah refers to Shavuot as Shavuot, weeks. Here's an exciting name for you. Chag HaKatzir, the festival of the reaping, and Yom HaBikurim, festival of the new fruits. And so, Shavuot is agricultural in nature, not historic. It's not really designed to commemorate Matan Torah. This seems strange, especially in light of the different ways that the Torah describes Pesach, which is because we came out of Egypt, out of Mitzrayim. In that case, in the case of Pesach, the Torah strongly emphasizes the connection, the historic connection, and requires us, in fact, to relive the Exodus each year. Shavuot, on the other hand, has very little fanfare to show for it. I'm all in favor of cheesecake, but it's not exactly a Pesach Seder. So, why are we not commanded to commemorate the giving of the Torah? It's very peculiar. Perhaps we can find an answer to our question in a much less well-known incident, a reenactment of the revelation at Sinai that took place 500 years afterwards for the sole benefit of Eliyahu Hanavi. Perhaps Eliyahu's experience can help us understand the Matan Torah, the Ma'amad Har Sinai experience for the rest of us who were not physically there. Eliyahu tries to cajole the Jewish people, Bnei Israel, back to the worship of Hashem and away from Avodah Zarah, away from idolatry. Eliyahu stages a showdown with the false prophets at Har HaKarmel in front of a gathering of people. He asks Hashem to please take his korban in order to teach the people that Hashem is the true God. The korban is accepted by a fire from heaven, and the people cry out, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim. We say this on Yom Kippur. It must have been a very important story. Sounds great, except you turn the page in your Tanakh, and the very next thing that happens is Eliyahu runs away. The queen is out to get him. He's confused and surprised to find out that the miracles he demonstrated did not have a lasting effect. He goes into the desert and basically gives up hope. He loses his will to live. He must believe himself to be a failure at that moment in time. An angel comes to him and tells him to eat. This happens twice. Obviously, Eliyahu did not graduate from MSH. It was a joke, never mind. He is sent on a long walk for 40 days and 40 nights without further eating and comes to Chorev, which is another name for Har Sinai. Is this starting to sound familiar? 40 days and 40 nights, going to Har Sinai. He goes into a cave and Hashem says, no, go outside. There Hashem recreates the awesome events that surround Matan Torah. I'll paraphrase the English. Hashem says, go forth, stand on the mountain before Hashem. Hashem passed by, and a great strong wind rent the mountains and broke the rocks before Hashem. But Hashem was not in the wind. And after the wind came an earthquake, but Hashem was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but Hashem was still not in the fire. After the fire, a cold mama daka, a thin, small voice. What is that thin, small voice? Lord Jonathan Sacks points out, it is a voice we must strain to hear. Yet, at the giving of the Torah, there was noise, and there was fire. The earth shook. The people not only heard, but they saw the sounds. Not only there, but throughout the Tanakh, the voice of Hashem is described as thunderous and very loud. And yet here, where we have a recreated Sinai, Hashem tells Eliyahu instead that he, Hashem, is found in silence, or a thin, small voice. Why the transition from all the noise to the silence? Actually, the noise of Matan Torah quiets in more ways than one since our time in the desert. There's a great metaphor that I learned from my own teacher, David Silber, that compares the creation of the Jewish people, our birth of a nation, as it were, to the birth of a child. Initially, the parents must do everything for that child, literally everything. Eventually, little by little, the child gains increasing independence through adolescence, through young childhood, then adolescence, and into adulthood. Throughout this, the child still has a parent to guide her, even if she must increasingly stand on her own and come to rely on messages learned previously. So too, Hashem takes care of all the needs of the Jewish people in the desert, starting with overt miracles. His presence is seen and felt by all. Hashem's direct involvement is patently clear as we cross the sea, as we eat the man, as we travel through the desert led by the Anan HaKavod. Eventually, we enter the land and the miracles are reduced. And we, the people, must take initiative if we are to conquer the land at all. We still have prophecy, just as most adult children talk to their parents as they raise their own families. But we are no longer led directly by Hashem. And there we find the thin, small voice, as did Eliyahu. In fact, in later generations, when we have no prophecy, as today, we can still hear the echo of that thin, small voice in the Torah itself. Eliyahu makes the mistake of thinking that his leadership should be focused on great signs and miracles, the way one would lead a child. Hashem explains to him otherwise. A leader must help the people find the soft voice that calls out from Torah, for the voice that can carry us at this point in our development. Pyrotechnics are a one-time event. That is not how life is lived daily. In fact, we must habituate ourselves to see God in nature and in all his creations, and not just the unusual occurrences. It's really allergies, I'm not verklempt. This is not easy work. We must pay attention in order to hear the whisper. It can easily be missed or misunderstood. It's a work that each of us must undertake for ourselves. We can commemorate Yetziat Mitzrayim with bells and whistles and matzah and maror, an entire scripted production that lasts all night. And indeed we do, because each of us was, in fact, redeemed from Egypt. But Matan Torah is different. Sure, the Torah was given at a point in time, but it's up to each of us to receive it. We must find that thin, small voice that is Torah for ourselves. Dear graduates, now I'm verklempt. You are at the junction where you must begin to take more responsibility for yourselves. Your parents, your families, your teachers, and your entire community stands with you and behind you. But you have already been working hard as a group to pay attention to that thin, small voice and to ask the questions that need that type of listening. You are seekers. You have grown in your approach to Torah and mitzvot. We know that you will carry your lessons with you. These will be among the words of the thin, small voice that will lead you and carry you forward, based on what we know about you as a group and as individuals, and all that you have already accomplished. We are sure that you are ready for that. Hatzlacha and mazal tov to each of you.
Mrs. Eisman, you're seeing me cry and I have to speak now. Well, thank you, Mrs. Eisman. Finally, to our valedictorian, for whom without her notes and review sheets, most of us would not be graduating today. Congratulations to Hadassah Krinsman.
I really hope that you all can hear and understand me, and I hope that I won't be needing subtitles, as Rabbi Schneeweiss likes to say that I need. When I was little, my definition of family had always been those who are related to you by blood or by marriage. Whenever I would go to a family wedding, bris, bar mitzvah, and I would see all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins, I would think to myself, this is family. Then, as I got older, I realized that there was much more to it than that. When I came to MSH, I reached my true definition of family. That MSH is my family, and my grade is my family. We are, in my opinion, and I'm sure that the rest of the administration can agree, one of the best grades that Shalchata has ever had. We are such a cohesive unit. We do have our fights, drama, and fallouts, but what family doesn't? Family is who pushes you to do your best, and who is always there rooting for you. They can make you become something that you didn't even know you could become. They see the best in you, and they know your true potential. Throughout these 4 years, my grade has truly been there for me whenever I need them, and they have always been right behind me, helping me to get out of my shell. For as long as I can remember, I've always been the quiet one. Whether it was in school or in social situations, I never spoke up much. That was pretty much how I carried myself throughout middle school. I went to school with Eliana Hirsch for 8 years, and on our last day of middle school, in 8th grade, she and I, the quietest girls in school, made a pact that once we got to high school, we would become outspoken, vocal, and loud. Though it may have taken us a couple of years, I'm happy to say that Eliana and I have followed through on our path. But it wasn't just Eliana pushing me along the way. It was the entire grade helping me to get to where I am today. They provided an environment where I felt safe, and I felt as if I could finally break out of my shell because I knew I would have these amazing people to catch me if I fell. So I really wanted to thank the grade as a whole for everything that you've done with me for the past 4 years. I love you guys. Really want to thank the teachers because they were also a huge part in getting me to where I am today. The teachers helped create an environment where I felt comfortable in my own skin and I was able to start asking the right questions instead of just looking for answers. There are 2 specific teachers who I like to thank. The first one, Rabbi Schneeweiss, is one who I think that most of the grade, or all of the grade, would like to thank. He's an eye-opening teacher who really gets to all of us and really understands all of us. We never feel as if we'll fall through the cracks in his class because we know that he notices everyone and he'll do whatever he can to help. His 10th grade public speaking class is also what really brought me out of my shell, and it's the main reason why I'm able to give this speech without throwing up. Another teacher that I would like to thank is one who not everyone in my grade had the privilege of having, but he's one who I've had an amazing experience with. I had Mr. Gonellis for 3 years, and even though he didn't formally teach me in 12th grade, I think I spent enough time this year hanging out in his class for it to be considered as if I had him for a 4th year. One day in 11th grade, I came into his class after taking one of Mrs. H. Bader's Chumash tests, and I was just crying because God knows how hard her test can be. And instead of just moving on to teach, she just said, okay, today we're not going to learn. And Yael, him, and me just sat and talked about life, school, and how the year was going so far. He really gave me an appreciation for mathematics that I never thought I could have, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But these are just a few examples. Few examples of the kinds of teachers that I and the rest of the class of 2019 have had at MSH. Every teacher has made a tremendous impact on each student. In MSH, you don't just have teachers who you see in school and then you are finished with them the moment you leave. Here, the teachers stick with us throughout our years here, and they will continue to stick with us as we grow and move on to different things in life. One thing that the school has given us that I am most thankful for is that they have allowed us to have this experience with our teachers and really build a relationship with them. The topic of losing touch with one another has come up here and there, and I know that it's one of the things that my grade is stressing about the most. Since last year, whenever anyone mentioned graduation, most of us would just burst into tears because we were all worried we wouldn't be as close anymore. But as we all move on in life to pursue different lives and careers, it's inevitable that we may lose touch with one another at some point. Hard to swallow, I know. It might happen where we won't talk to one of our classmates for a while, but I know that with this grade, we won't be out of touch for long. As I said before, we are a cohesive unit who works well together and sticks together, and I believe that that is what will help our relationship as a whole stand the test of time as we shift from high school. While I'm on this topic of thanking my family, I would also like to thank my dad for being like a personal safari to me and helping me out with all of my limited Kodesh homework. to my mom, who was there to console me during my hourly breakdowns about AP English, and to my aunt, Jessie Fishbein, for helping me write this speech. I'd like to end with a few words from Shemot. It says in Perek Yud Vayachem Sham Yisrael Neged Hahar, and Israel camped in front of the mountain. It strangely uses the singular form here, Vayachem, and he camped there, when it would usually use the word Vayachanu, they encamped there. Or Chaim says that the reason why it is singular is because it teaches that people were coming together and connecting with a full and whole friendship. Ki ish echad v'lev echad, like one person with one heart. They had come together and learned to grow from each other, and that's when they were ready to receive the Torah. This oneness goes throughout history and throughout Klal Yisrael. I think that my grade really, truly demonstrates this oneness. I believe that this is something that the rest of the world can learn from my amazing grade, and I have no doubt that we will take this unity forward and incorporate it into other parts of our lives. We are unified as a grade, as Ki ish echad v'lev echad says, and I will forever be grateful to them for being my family, now and always.
Some of us need it.
That's true. Yeah, it's really neat. Thank you, Hadassah. Aside from being valedictorian, Hadassah worked alongside Sima Bachner, long and hard throughout the year to assemble our incredible yearbook,
which according to our humble, unbiased opinion, is the best yearbook in all of history. Will Sima come up here and join us to present the yearbook along with Hadassah?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We dedicate this yearbook to the victims of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting that happened on the last Shabbat of October 2018. Through this dedication, we hope that this terrible crime will never be forgotten. We know that we will always remember the feelings we felt in response, and we will never forget those whose lives were cruelly cut short.
We'd like to thank Yael Simon for writing this beautiful dedication, and Shifra Chait and Sarah Spielman for the cover art, and also Dr. Kirkman for the iPad. Could not.
And to Coach, who was extremely patient and understanding with us. We couldn't have asked for a better advisor. Thank you. To Rabbi Friedman, Mrs. Eisen, Mrs. Lisker, and all of the faculty, thank you for working so well with us to create the yearbook.
And last but definitely not least, we'd like to thank our grade for electing us as editors. We have learned so much throughout this process that we wouldn't trade it for anything. We are truly blessed to be able to say that we love you all and really mean it. And I'm also excited, but I love you guys. Thank you so much.
No, this is mine. You just presented it to me.
As you can see from our staff, teachers, grade, and all the opportunities we were given, we were truly blessed. We would like to show a token of our appreciation by calling up our class presidents, Mayan Sandowski and Panina Spearman, to bestow our gift upon the school.
But first, Mayan and Panina, we would like to officially apologize on behalf of our grade for not helping out because we were speaking to a teacher, having a meeting, being tired, or having a Zoom interview.
Sorry, we complained about making paninis during lunch, waffles at 7 a.m.,
or not wanting to wash other people's cars out of Pesach for 7 hours straight,
or not wanting to bake cookies or cake for the bake sales.
or sell ice cream or pizza during breaks.
Okay, yeah, I think we got it.
But seriously, you guys did an amazing job raising the money for our awesome senior trip. Thanks for putting up with us and our complaints.
As you can see from, nope, Alina, we stole your joke, wrong information. As you've heard from those who spoke before us, our experience at Majestic Shalhaba has been more than amazing.
As a small token of our gratitude, we would like to present a new table for the library.
The hours we spent in the library learning from various teachers,
From Hebrew to Jewish ethics,
from 9th grade English to Chumash,
transformed us into the independent thinkers we are today.
as inscribed on the plaque for this new library table, we want to thank you for supporting us and giving us our own legs to stand on. We hope this table will facilitate that for many more to come.
On behalf of our grade, we thank you.
It's no box.
It's in the box, it's in the box. We always say that.
Last but not least, we would like to call up our biology teacher, chemistry teacher, anatomy expert, and assistant principal, Mrs. Lisker, Mrs. Lisker, Mrs. Lisker, and you guessed it, Mrs. Lisker. Not only is she a wonderful teacher, but she juggles all of her responsibilities with grace and never gives any less than 100%. She truly cares about all her students and always offers to give any extra help needed, whether it be in or outside of class.
Turn the page. My dear graduates, as you sit here tonight, ready to accept your high school diplomas and move on to your next stage in life, there's just one message I wanted to leave you with. Don't worry, I promise to keep it short. I think I mastered that one. I got the best. When thinking about the class of 2019, several character traits came to mind. What stuck out most was how each and every one of you have such unique talents, and yet you're able to come together as one of the most cohesive groups I have seen in a while. The idea brought me to a pasuk in your favorite sefer, Mishlei, Parakah Bet Pasuk Chanach al pi darko, gam ki yazkin lo yasur mimeh. This text can be read on many levels. The pshat, the straightforward meaning of the words is, educate a child according to his way, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it. On a deeper level, this can be interpreted as, when you allow people to be themselves, the best results emerge. This pasuk is here to remind us, there is no one derech with a capital D. There is no one right path to Jewish education, and there is no one right way to form and build your Jewish identity. Knowing this is the key to both. Over the past 4 years, maybe not in chemistry, but certainly in your Kodesh classes, you have been encouraged to think for yourselves, form your own views and opinions, follow your own path, and stand up for what you believe in. And boy, have you girls taken this to heart. The results speak for themselves. As I look at you tonight, I see 17 incredible individuals. As unique as you are, you have learned to complement one another, work together, and, to say it again, form quite a cohesive group. Now, as you leave the comfort and security of MSH, recognize your growth. Be proud of the person that you have become. And realize that your contribution to the world is as unique as you are. Whatever path you choose to take in life, be it a career or a leader in your community, while running your own household, Take your unique kohot along with you, carve your path, and leave your mark wherever you go. No one else can pull off what you can. To quote from Michael Dell, CEO of Dell Computers, as you start your journey, the first thing you should do is throw away that store-bought map and begin to draw your own. Although we say goodbye tonight, I want to wish you all hatzlacha and remind you that both my door and my inbox will always be open. Mazel tov, and rest assured you will be sorely missed.
Thanks so much, Mrs. Lisker. Now, I know you guys probably want a break, but don't worry, we're almost done. I bet you weren't expecting a graduation of 17 girls to take this long. Mr. Goodness, have we made it into your book yet?
Anyway, the real reason we know you guys decided to put up with us here is for the outstanding montage created by the most amazing Yael Silent.
I think the video will describe our 4 years here better than we can. Over the past 4 years, we created lifelong friendships with both teachers and peers, as well as an amazing relationship to knowledge and learning.
We now have the confidence in ourselves from all the skills we have acquired and are ready to take on the world using the tools we have been so fortunate to have been given. Thank you all so much for coming tonight and celebrating with us.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Light a fire they can't put out, carve your name into those shining stars. He said go venture far beyond the shores, don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid I heard him say, when you get older your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. These are the nights that never die. My father told me. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hang it on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
It was a beautiful testament to the friendship and community you shared for the past 4 years. Before we turn to our awards, let me first acknowledge the members of the class of 2019 who've been admitted to ARISTA, the New York chapter of the National Honor Society. Membership is awarded based on scholarship, leadership, service, and character. And these young ladies fit the bill. When I call your name, please stand and please rise and stand in place. Shifra Chait. Hadassah Friedman. Mayan Sandowski. Yael Simon. And Abigail Zephyr. Come up to those ladies. You're going to be getting your certificates with your real diplomas. Okay, thank you. This year we will be presenting 3 awards prior to the diplomas. The Philip Bach Memorial Keter Shem Tov Award is given to honor the memory of Philip Bach, Olav Shalom, brother of Bela Bach Becker, class of 2012. Philip, who lived his 27 years with familial dysautonomia, loved kindness and people. His family would like to honor one student who stands out in this regard. The recipient of this award does in fact stand out for her kindness and her sensitivity to others, whether they be her classmates or anyone in the school. She's always had a strong sense of doing the right thing, whether it be Ben Adam L'Makom, Ben Adam L'Chavero, schoolwork, or life. Truly genuine, she has no artifice or airs about her. She sets about to do it and do it right. She sees things for what they are and has a comfortable way of talking to others, whether they be her peers or her teachers, and whether she's in agreement with them or not. No drama. As a student, she's naturally curious, interested, listens carefully, and takes every opportunity to learn. Working hard at everything she does, she takes all her responsibilities seriously. A true unsung hero of the grade and the school. This is a young lady of character, pure and simple. We are proud to be giving the Philip Bach Memorial Keter Shem Tov Award to Navi Astra.
is a mill envelope, so maybe we'll just take her.
Whatever, it's good, she got an award. We just try to, where's Mom? Well, when did you figure it out?
When you said that she's wonderful.
The CCC Award from the New York State Attorney General is given to a student who is outstanding in her character, courage, and commitment. The recipient is a young woman who demonstrates her character and commitment in all she does. Well-spoken and mature, she's always reflecting and upholding the mission of the school, and always with a smile. Honest and sweet, yet clear-eyed about the world around her, she is bright, capable, and insightful. We always knew how smart and capable she is, and we're glad to see that she now knows it too. She has consistently worked hard at the club she's been involved with, from sports to a regular lead in our play. We are proud to be giving this award to Avital Hoster. Okay. The Surrey Boy and Jew Principals Award, our top award, is given each year at graduation to that student who, in the judgment of the entire administration, has made the greatest overall contribution to MSH, its programs, and the entire community. The recipient of this year's award has an incredibly mature attitude and works hard to always do the right thing, even when it's difficult. She's talented in many ways and truly gets things done, always with a smile. A thoughtful, insightful, and strong student with a curious mind, she has an intense drive to challenge herself, not only to learn and know, but more importantly, to use that knowledge to continue to grow. A seeker of truth, she always follows up when her interest is piqued and always wants to know more. Even more impressively, she knows what she doesn't know and seeks guidance when necessary. Her natural leadership and midot tovot made her a strong force of goodness within the school, as well as a grounded and accomplished student government leader in many capacities. She managed to find the time to be involved in almost everything, whether it be the play, Torah Bowl, College Bowl, Jump, basketball, softball, math league, choir, Chesed Club, Glee Club, GEO, MSH Scholars, and Senior Class President. It is with great pleasure that we give this award to my aunts and dads.
Class president, I was like, wait, that's me.
My aunt's right. My aunt earned that award, but there are so many qualified students in this year's grade for all of the awards, and we really, truly wish we had one for each of you. You certainly deserve it. There's a line, I say this every year at graduation almost, the line in the song Hotel California, which was from the time I went to high school. Imagine, we had radios that says, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Here the opposite is true. You will be leaving us shortly to go on your own exciting journey, but you will never check out of MSH. This will always be your home away from home, and we will always be there for you. We are not saying goodbye. We are saying lehitraot. Girls, this is it. Are you ready? Okay. Okay. How much time you need? Some of you look ready. I don't know. Ready? Okay. I think we're going to stand up. Ready or not? Stand up. And take your places. Line up, please. Actually, before the bylaws, we have one more announcement. Thank you. Before we begin calling up our graduates to the stage, I want to give a shout out to Chen Fishbein, who is a part-time member of the class. Oh, don't pretend to be embarrassed. You're great at the stage. Chen, who was a part-time member of the class as she was homeschooled. While not one of our graduates, Chen has long been one of the gang. I'm ready.
Genuinely sweet and friendly, Sima greets everyone with a smile. In her early years of high school, she stood back and then came into herself. Sima grew as a student and as an individual, most of all in her self-confidence. She emerged as a leader, voted yearbook editor, where in addition to AP art, she put her creative and artistic talents to good use.
Shifra is an individual. She has a unique style to everything she does, from her artwork to her fashion sense, her outsized personality and her sense of humor. Candid and direct, but equally sensitive to others. When she is passionate about something, we all know about it. Intellectually curious, Shifra is a thinker. Shifra seeks guidance when necessary and is always open to receive it. Wait, Shifra.
It's nice of you to say. Okay.
With a personality to match her hair. Rifki cares about people and relationships, including those with her teachers. Whatever the topic, Rifki either has an opinion or will pepper you with questions. Once she's clear on the right thing to do, she has a matter-of-fact way of taking care of the important things. Rifki, we already missed you in the office.
Fine. See ya.
Shira Franco. Shira seems quiet, but she is busy taking everything in. Her observations are shared, sometimes quietly, with those around her in witty and sharp insights. A talented singer and songwriter, Shira shared her talent on the stage with us, and one might even say that our Mary Poppins is practically perfect in every way. Sincere, reliable, and hardworking, Shira's motivation to learn and grow has certainly paid off.
award. Becky is a Chesed star and the first one to volunteer to help when needed. It should not surprise us that she has been our go-to document leader for most of her 4 years in high school. An unofficial big sister to so many of our ninth graders, Becky has a natural joy and can't help but smile. She is as much at home on the basketball court as she is in the classroom and always shines on stage as dance captain.
That's good.
We've already heard lots about our winner of the Triple C Award, but we must add that she is one of Rabbi Schneeweiss's Scrabble victors. Who would have ever thought that Dorothy could pull that off?
We'll add another one next year.
Hadassah Friedman. By the way, the correct answer was that Hadassah is the tallest one, in case you're wondering. An award-winning photographer who is often behind the lens at school events, putting her artistic abilities to good use as yearbook editor, Hadassah is equally comfortable with complex math equations and on the basketball court. She's a star student who wants to help others succeed. We enjoyed getting to know her as she came out of her shell slowly, sharing with us her sense of humor and her sense of fun. Give it to the punch. Wait for it. Come on. Oh, full photo? Wait, you didn't like this one? Well, no one else. I worked hard on that.
We can do one more. Can we get all 4 of you guys, all 5 of you guys to do that?
Come on, Freeman.
Guys, maybe we all get one like that.
You want to do it again? Well, we'll say, right? Yes, Rifki, we'll do that.
Sorry, Master. Kind to everyone, Sari is sincere in all she does, which is reflected in the classroom as well as in everything she says and does. With her ukulele in hand, Sari transitioned seamlessly into the school in 10th grade, sharing her exceptional singing voice with us on stage and in choir. Sari's passion is musical theater, even getting herself an internship at Plato.
Sweet, sincere, and straightforward in all she does, Chaya can seem quiet until you get her going and see her bubbly and often passionate personality. With an infectious laugh, Chaya is also a clear thinker. With her constellation of talents, she will always rise to the occasion, which helped her become a leader at mock trial.
stole the show this year as Purvasara rising from the dead. And did you bring your friend Rage with you to escort you on stage today?
And often wise beyond her years, Yael is caring, compassionate, and empathetic, and takes her responsibilities to others seriously, giving of herself freely. Self-reflective, she listens and learns, both in the classroom and out. A mock trial star, not only in her skill as an attorney, but as an assistant coach, her logic and analytical outlook lend themselves to math and to escape the room. True story. Her talents in art, math, and her love of knowledge, coupled with her deep hakarat hatov for all the good around her, will surely take her to great places.
Ms. Searman. With her witty and quick sense of humor and an ability to see the bigger picture, she always greets you with a smile. Talented, ambitious, and hardworking, Nina cares about school in order to do well, but more importantly, to learn and grow. In everything she does not accept work that is anything less than her best.
Sarah is brimming with personality, easily connects with others, and is always welcoming to everyone. With her sense of humor, our yearbook cartoonist is talented in many ways. Articulate and well thought out, Sarah is serious about learning. She deeply respects and appreciates her teachers and works hard at being her best self, which is reflected in her tremendous growth since 9th grade. It's a pleasure to see the self-reflective and self-confident young woman Sarah has grown to be.
Ambitious and determined, Tamar is strongest when focused on her goals, which paid off when she was accepted to her first choice BA MA architecture program. Passionate, Tamar is also a thinker and a questioner. Her artistic talent is evident in her artwork and her sense of fashion. When she bakes for us, the taste is always matched by a creative presentation.
Just to prove how dedicated she is to everything she commits herself to, she played at playing the fiddler so well that she fooled us.
Intelligent, articulate, and mature, Abigail is a talented and hardworking student who always had a full plate. She managed to be both school president and Tevye in the same year. She gets it all done with a smile and a sense of humor. Self-confident and self-assured, Abigail won the amazing Questbridge Award because they figured it out too. We'll miss hearing our Poetry Slam star greet us daily with, "Good morning, MSH."
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the MSH Class of 2019. Girls, you may return to your places and don the ceremonial sweatshirt.